name is Zoe. I'm the Tipsy Psychic, and today we're going to talk about the compatibility between a Scorpio Sagittarius Cusp and a Scorpio. You have a natural chemistry with a Scorpio, but that easygoing nature isn't going to allow you to forego all effort. This is not like a pass to do whatever the fuck you want. You're gonna have to work for it. You're still gonna have to work for it. But I always say that some of the best relationships take hard work. You see, how you go about proving your love in this relationship is really going to make a difference. Communication is not usually an issue. You have a natural way of expressing yourself with a Scorpio. Things can get pretty serious pretty fast, and you kind of have to know what you want out of your relationship before really committing to it. What do you desire from your Scorpio? Be very clear on the end game. You tend to dive into this without actually taking the time to know what your goals are. You're not the only one who cares about the why you are in this. Your family, your friends, even your Scorpio, they're an important part of your life and they need you. So get very clear on what you want. Get very clear on this so that you're not spending all this precious time that you could be spending with them trying to figure it all out. Pay attention to your Scorpio. Scorpio understands emotions. They are complex beings and they understand that you are not perfect. They never expect you to be. You make mistakes, tons of mistakes, and they love you anyway. Breakups between these two are usually quite sudden. 1 minute, everything's going fine, and then the next minute it's like over. A big reason for this is when you forget chivalry. You see, this is an old-fashioned dynamic at heart. It may masquerade as like this modern couple, but you both are old-fashioned in a sense, where you need chivalry, you need the classics, you need the romance to keep this alive, to keep this going. You're an old-fashioned couple. It follows an official lover's playbook. You may have heard of the rule, don't call him or her back until 3 days have gone by. Or hold the door open for her. Or dress up for your dates. Or never split the check on the first date. Or don't talk about politics or religion on the first date. You are classic romantics together. And it says a lot about your partner when they follow the social norms. And for this couple, it creates a foundation. So if you stick to these old-fashioned romantic tactics, then you're creating a foundation for your relationship, which will help it thrive and grow. So that's really this function in this relationship. I hope this makes sense. Because it's not a weak connection. No, in fact, you have a very strong, stable dynamic with a Scorpio. The truth will set you free, and being very open with your Scorpio and very truthful and honest will be very, very good. So make sure you make that a rule for your relationship, is really trust, honesty, openness. Put everything out on the table. Be very transparent in the beginning. Of course, you still want some of that romantic, old-fashioned mystery, you know, leave them guessing kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that when it comes to being, you know, truthful, you have to hide anything or be secretive. Because being secretive is really not good here. The truth will set you free. I'm not kidding. It's a great way to strengthen your bond with your Scorpio, is to just kind of come clean. Don't make promises you can't keep. And when you do make promises, you have to follow through with them. A Scorpio takes your word very, very seriously. Whether it's saying you'll fold the laundry or pick up their mom from the airport when she comes to visit. Don't bite off more than you can chew. The truth is, it's very unlikely that an external force will be what breaks up your relationship. Most of the time, you destroy yourselves from within. Self-sabotage is your second name in this relationship. When things are going too well, it can sometimes feel like you want to shake things up, that you want to mess with things a little bit. Like things are going way too well. It's weird. It's almost like uncomfortable. Like it doesn't feel normal for you. You know, you kind of are a little chaotic. Like you like a little chaos. And so when things are so smooth, going so perfectly, it's surreal, you know? And that's when the self-sabotage happens. A Scorpio can make you feel like your emotions are kind of under a microscope. It's like they have this magnifying glass that they're just holding over your feelings, and it feels kind of like you're more of a hot mess with them sometimes. And this can be really uncomfortable because you feel things that you're really not used to feeling. It's like feelings, ugh, how do I get them off of me? Stay away. It can cause you to feel insecure. And if things do end, not saying they will, but if they do, then they tend to be very difficult to piece back together. It's very difficult to come back together and for everything to be shiny and new like it was before. It's really difficult to heal this relationship when it is broken. You might try and try to fix things and to go back to the way things were, but you will realize how really like almost impossible that is when you try. When things are broken with a Scorpio, they usually stay broken. So try not to break up. You both care about being classy, and you try not to take shortcuts when it comes to courtship, like courting each other. And those around you might feel like, okay, like this is the 21st century. I think you're overdoing it. Your courtship might feel kind of shallow to them. They might be like, why don't you just ask them out for a drink or get to know each other, you know? Or why do you have to wait to hear back from them? Didn't they give you their number? And they might not really understand how powerful your dynamic is at first. So you might feel like your friends aren't as supportive of your relationship at first. But it's also important for you to dive deeper and not just get caught up in the fantasy. Your loved ones might think you're kind of delusional. Are you? Are you truly seeing your Scorpio for who they are? You both are pretty headstrong, and so it's really hard for you to meet someone who merges with you like a Scorpio. Your relationship has the power to set things in motion. It has the power to make things happen and to create real change in the world. You gotta be very transparent and honest with your Scorpio. You are equals in so many ways. You both are playful and full of vibrant energy, and neither one of you wants to really ever grow up inside. You know, your inner children are really powerful and strong and vibrant, and that's very clear, you know, it's very playful. It's something you can really connect with them. If there is one thing you both do well, it's flirting. Phone sex might be your forte. You know what to say to turn each other on. Writing erotic love letters to each other might help. You are both so caught up in your passionate exchanges that you can forget about everything else going on. You also like to tease each other a lot. Your families might have a hard time accepting this relationship at first. And they might try to shake you up a little bit. They might try to make you feel a little insecure about your relationship. And they probably do it out of love, believe it or not. But it's like, don't let them rattle you, you know? You also have to accept them. Now, a Scorpio might try to give you an ultimatum, and that is not a good sign. Ultimatums are bad news for this couple. It's like a ticking time bomb when you have an ultimatum here. Explore the complexity of your love for each other. It is so much more than anyone sees on the surface. And you must remain open-minded for this to work. Be willing to work with them. Never close yourself off. You both are feelers in your own way. And you have so much compassion for your Scorpio during their darkest times. You relate to them, and who are you to tell them how to feel? You know? You both march to the rhythm of your own drum. And while tradition is important while you're dating, You usually settle down to be this like kooky couple who kind of does whatever the fuck they want and never really does what other people want them to do. When you settle down, you usually don't do what other people do. It's just not who you are. You do your own thing and you kind of make it your own, and your relationship is so unique like that. You go on extraordinary adventures with your Scorpio. Despite all this chemistry, long-term commitments may not be the best for you and a Scorpio, but that doesn't mean you should give up. In fact, it's really common for one of you to already be married or in a committed relationship with someone else when you meet each other, even while you pursue each other. Now, this complicates things, of course. You need to remove that third party ASAP if you want to give this a shot. You know, this can't be your side relationship. This has to be a full thing, like a real commitment if you want this to work out. So while you often meet while you're dating someone else, you kind of have to make a choice. You know, you can't do the love triangle thing forever. The way you go about your relationship is sexy. It just is. Try not to hold any grudges with a Scorpio. It's just not productive. The energy of this dynamic can be intense. You know, your Scorpio is like magnetic. The attraction is certainly there, but the attraction can get exhausting at times. And you always have an opinion that you have to share. I mean, you are the cusp of revolution, you know? You have to rattle things. You have to change things. You have to create a revolution. That's kind of like your energy, your, you know, pattern that you play out. So this does impact things, and you have things to say. You speak your mind. You have thoughts, polarizing thoughts sometimes. And this can cause friction, making it really difficult to see eye to eye sometimes. Your fights actually often happen because you keep your opinions to yourself for so long. And then suddenly, like, you start being honest about things out of the blue and you don't know how to handle it. Neither one of you knows what to do. So that's why it's important to be genuine from the start. Because like I said, you know, there can be this mysticism with the romance and whatever, but you have to be genuine, you have to be authentic, you have to be yourself and open from the beginning. You can't just turn on an honesty switch. Don't try to impress each other or worry so much about saying something that they don't want to hear. You know, you can't filter yourself at all in the beginning, because when it comes out later, it's way worse. It's gonna be really hard for you to just start dating a Scorpio if one of you is already seeing someone else. And it can be tempting to just say, hey, break things off before even trying to be together. Your relationship can feel like a ticking time bomb sometimes. Like it's only a matter of time before it explodes. If things are over, you probably can't fix it. However, that doesn't mean that in the future you can't start over from scratch. If your Scorpio is the one that got away, then you might see them in a few years and be like, hey, let's try again. And it might not be what it was. It might be better. It might be something new, but you have a blank slate. You feel me? So this isn't like a it's over forever kind of thing. If you meet again, you can try again. You know, timing can be everything here. It just doesn't mean picking up where you left off. And it usually only works out like that if, you know, it's been years and years have gone by since you last saw each other. And you both have had a lot of time to heal on your own. As friends, you usually are part of some kind of team. Maybe you both meet at a knitting club, or you like to play basketball together, or you're both part of the same kind of community or network. You don't usually hang out alone as much, and you definitely share these mutual friends. Never tune out what your loved ones are saying about your Scorpio. You don't have to follow their advice, but you should at least care about what they have to say. It's easy to just stop hearing them out, especially if they don't approve of your Scorpio. But you know it's because they love you, they care about you, and they just want what's best for you. So just keep that in mind, remember that. A Scorpio wouldn't hold it against you when you slip up. everyone flips up. You're usually pretty serious about your Scorpio. You know, you rarely get into this and it's super casual and you don't really care about them. Even if it is casual, you tend to really care. Like, you tend to take it seriously and you don't just like brush them off. This is a big thing, a big deal deep down. When things don't work out, it's actually common for you to be friends with your Scorpio as exes. You might feel better about being friends after being together as lovers, actually. The highs and the lows tend to be equal. When they're good, they're great. When they are bad, they're awful. And unfortunately, the lows can come up a lot. It is a challenge for these lovebirds. You either love each other or you hate each other, but it's hardly ever in between. So this can add difficulties to your love life with a Scorpio. A Scorpio can make an annoying friend sometimes. They can get bored often. It doesn't always happen though. I'm not trying to say this is how it always is, but this is like a common thing. It helps that you both are capable of being very outspoken. You can be very blunt when you choose to be. You mesmerize each other with your words too. And this can make for a very satisfying relationship. When things are over, it's usually because you are the one to break things off, not your Scorpio. Your chemistry may be a breeze, but like I said, it can take a lot of effort to make this work. And it can feel forced sometimes. It can feel like all you do is give in to them. You don't usually rush into a marriage with a Scorpio. It's a big decision. You can spend years together before deciding to tie the knot. And you try to be very considerate when discussing the future. Your vibe is very powerful. Your Scorpio would be the more sensitive one. They're very driven by their feelings, and this can be a lot for you to keep up with. Your Scorpio can seem like a tyrant, and it can be difficult to forgive and forget in those instances. Despite all the complications of committing to a Scorpio, when you do manage to make it work and devote yourselves to each other, your marriage can be very beautiful, very happy, and it can last a very, very long time. Actually, being married together can actually feel much less stressful and much more enjoyable. Things actually get much easier after the wedding most of the time. You progress well as a married couple and you keep things interesting. You both are visionaries, you both dream big. Scorpio is less predictable than you. They can get on your nerves sometimes. But if there's something wrong with your marriage, it won't be rocket science to figure it out. It'll be pretty obvious, you know? It's up to you how you go about it, how you respond to it. You must avoid keeping so much to yourself because it will only hurt things later. Other than that, it moves pretty smoothly. Destructive forces threaten your love. Sex. Your dynamic is very erotic. Privacy is definitely very important to you. You don't ever reveal all your cards at once. But you take your Scorpio very seriously. What you have with them is the real deal. I dare you to date a Scorpio. I dare you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are born on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius, or if you are a Scorpio, please comment below. Let me know what you think. Have you dated each other? Are you interested in dating a Scorpio? Or if you're a Scorpio, are you dating a Scorpio Sagittarius cusp? I would love to hear your story. Yes. So comment. Subscribe to my channel. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.